So Bodegas Pirineos, this is the Selección, and it's called Marbore, which is one of the really high peaks that one could see, part of the foothills of the Pyrenees. Well, now we're actually looking up into the Pyrenees at this point. And 2004, a very nice, very rich, and I think well-balanced vintage. But let's see what we actually get out of the bottle. What we're dealing with now is Tempranillo. Well, some other grapes too, because there's a lot of grapes that are home in this area and quite comfortable in this area. So I've got Tempranillo, I've got Cabernet Sauvignon, I have Merlot, and then I have a little bit of Moristel, which is a grape I'm very fascinated by. I think it's a grape of that area, and I hope we'll get to hear more about it. And then a little bit of a grape called Paraleta. Now, what all this does when it comes together is hopefully create a more complex whole than those individual parts. What I find fascinating about this particular wine is, again, that Somontano, what Dio Somontano can bring to a wine, which is ripeness meets freshness. Freshness, again, is all about acidity. So in other words, what I'm trying to say is that the elevation allows the grapes to become ripe, quite ripe, and then the elevation allows them to cool off quickly. So I get this wonderful collection of ripeness and somewhat under-ripeness that creates a freshness, a tartness, an acidity sort of note at the end of the wine. What I also find fascinating about this particular wine is there's that stoniness. Maybe you're smelling it, maybe you're not. Check it out. To me, it smells like people banging rocks together. And if you're not smelling it, don't worry about it. Let's taste. It's that black cherry note. But also, do you feel the tannic sort of grip of the wine? That's not Cabernet Sauvignon, certainly not solely. Tempranillo is a tannic wine. Tempranillo has so many different faces. In this case, it's kind of plummy, a little bit cherry. And then I get, it's even happening now. Normally in most wines it would take a while. I get that banging rocks together, that stony dustiness. And why do I get so excited about that? Because we talk about wines of place all the time, and what we're talking about is that a wine tastes like that place and tastes like flavors that could come from no other place. And this limestone underpinning to this particular area, to these particular vineyards, that, I think, shows itself in the finish of this wine. Now, if it doesn't work for you, that's cool, but certainly I think you get the freshness and ripeness, and hopefully you get a little bit of that stony dustiness.